Does anyone have a question?
I'd like to ask a question, Stuart. We got to go to Dakshineshwar, where Ramakrishna and Sharada Devi lived. And I've had a real strong connection with her for many years. And I think she's the only woman that I know about in our teachers, from our teachers. Are there I believe you have a really strong affinity with her too. Is that not true?
What's the question, Chris?
What is it that I okay. I just want to know if there are more women in our lineage.
This is look, this is not women, men. It's whoever works at enough depth inside themselves, and their need is strong enough to get to God, that person will become part of the lineage of this work, be they male, be they female. I'm not interested in gender and all that stuff. I'm just interested, is somebody willing to truly do the work in the kind of depth that Rudy did it, that I do it? And if they're willing to do it in that kind of depth, they will emerge as a teacher of this work. There's nothing I can do about it. It doesn't matter if they're male, female, if they're, black, white, yellow, green, or orange. I don't care. And God doesn't care. The only reality is do they do the work, and are they willing to take the kind of responsibility on themselves in doing this teaching, having a vision, being able to, nurture people, being able to make a situation really grow, not to let it just kind of get sterile and float and, be some kind of what I always consider to be some false spiritual situation, I mean, Rudy always talked about people in those situations being like hors d'oeuvres, I mean, are people willing to do that work in that kind of depth inside themselves? They will become a teacher. A teacher isn't just sitting there and looking at people.
Right.
A teacher is a huge responsibility. And that responsibility first of all, it has to do with that need inside to truly serve a higher force of energy in the universe. And, I don't determine that. You understand? If somebody is willing to work in that kind of depth, who am I to get in their way?
Right.
Problem I've had with teachers in my life is that people become teachers and they get some thing in their mind of doing it in some way that has nothing to do with Rudy's work. Mm-hmm. And it begins to twist the work out of shape. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, I'm talking about having a need to truly go inside in that kind of depth to become a real child of God, a servant of higher energy in the universe, and to do it without all the dogma and all the formality and there was none of that in Rudy's. Rudy was, he was worse than I am, and I'm pretty bad in terms of dogma and how I live and what I do, and he, it was. I remember when Muktananda was in America, and he made us all become vegetarians and celibates, and tried to make the meditation group into some Hindu organization. And at first, Rudy said, okay, he's my teacher, and we did it, And, Rudy was a pretty volatile person on every level, from business to his, relationships to everything, And eventually, about 3 months into it, he finally said, it's enough of this bullshit.
Yeah.
We're not Hindus. We're not Indians. I mean, this is freaking New York City here, And we even stopped doing the open eye meditation because Muktananda demanded it.
Mm.
And when somebody is willing to go deep enough for themselves and the need is so strong to serve God, you know, they will become a teacher. I'm not going to stop them. I dream about people like that. I really do. And it's not a male, it's not female, it's not, the color of one's skin, what country you live in, where you come from. It only has to do with that profound need inside a human being that truly wants to have a spiritual life and wants to spend their life serving a higher force of energy in the universe. And in serving that force of energy in the universe, there's no dogma. Life is the temple. Understand? We're all children of God. Even the people we don't like and the people, Vladimir Putin is a child of God. Yeah. He's certainly teaching the earth a lesson. What does he teach? War doesn't work. All it does is kill people. So there's some force in the cosmos using this particular being to show us all that. Everybody is part of the design of the universe. Yeah. And are there females in this lineage? Who stops females? They stop themselves, Who stops males? They stop themselves. But anyone who has that kind of need, they will evolve. It was my need. That's why Rudy could do all those things to me, put me through an unbelievable training, because he knew beneath all of the surface of Stuart what the real need was. And my need was, I was not going to run away from whatever I had to go through in order to become, a servant of God. And then he reminded me, God is God. The rest of us, best any guru, teacher can do is be the servant of his students and the servant of a higher energy in the universe. And this, our direct quote, whispered in my ear by Rudy, while we were sitting in a lecture from Muktananda talking about the guru is God, and if you worship the guru, you will, find your path to God. And Rudy's whispering in my ear, no, God is God. Never forget that.
Yeah.
Wow. The best any of us can do, is be the servant of God and the servant of the people who study with us. Don't forget that.
I understand. Thank you.
It has nothing to do with male, female. When it comes to that, I'm completely blind. When it comes to color of people's skin, I'm completely colorblind. I'm not interested in anything like that. What I'm really interested in are people willing to take on the full responsibility of what it means to teach this meditation. Otherwise, it's bullshit, You hang a picture of Rudy over your head and you sit and stare at people.
Yeah.
I hope that's clear, because look, I'm not getting any younger here. And one of my dreams and one of my visions is to impart everything I've learned in my life into other people so that this meditation can be carried on. I mean it, because, I know what this has done for my life. And I know what it can do for the life of anybody who truly makes a profound commitment with vision being willing to step into the unknown, to take chances, to support big situations. To give life. I remember just before Rudy died, one of his students, was talking about how this thing is going to grow and it's going to, who God knows how. And so, well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to sit and teach 1,000 people? And his response was, I'll take everybody in my heart. I will get big enough to do that. So it has nothing to do with male, female. Every time I see this whole thing about the polarity and the conflict between men and women, it really is something that I find, honestly, I mean, you all might leave a bunch of nonsense, And yeah, on a certain level, all of that crap goes on. And there's all this domineering energy of men and women and blah, blah, blah. But it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's because people are totally out of touch with a higher force of energy in the universe. It's all in their minds. It's all in their egos. They're wanting to have power. If people connect with that, then none of this is a problem. And if you do connect with that, then it's not a problem anyway, because you can look right through the bullshit of somebody else, As I said, look, one of my dreams is to give this away. I have learned so much in my life. I'm now doing in-person classes. One person comes. It's staggering to me, And I know people live all over the place, but it's amazing. And I'm even starting to think, well, maybe I'll stop that. I'll just do it when people come from out of town, Because that kind of need determines everything. Otherwise, it's just tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace. It's Shakespeare at his glorious best. Out, brief candle. Life is but a passing shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour on the stage and then is heard no more. I mean, it's just incredibly profound. And it's true because most of life is that way. People that rise above it are people that truly, build inside themselves a system that enables them to connect with God. So it's no longer a tale told by an idiot. It's a tale told by an open heart, by love, by joy, by willingness to give and to receive, by the highest levels of what it means to be human. Anyway, look, I didn't mean to even get into this, but sometimes when that topic is brought up, I get like,
Stuart.
Sarada Devi was this great soul.
Yeah.
She serves me all the time. I've never met her. I mean, basically, I went to Dakshineshwar on one trip. I was in Delhi and I was told by a higher energy, you've got to go to Dakshineshwar in Calcutta. And Calcutta is a place that is, I never in a million years I ever think of going there. I mean, it's really like the armpit of the world, Calcutta, And I had two students with me and I said, look, I've been told that I have to go to Calcutta. If you don't want to come, I understand perfectly. You can stay in Delhi or wherever you want to go. but I've got to go to Calcutta. And I went to Calcutta, I went to Dakshineshwar, and I sat in the room where Ramakrishna used to teach. And I sat there for like an hour and a half meditating. And what came to me was so profound. And it really basically, saved my life at that moment. So I am deeply grateful to Ramakrishna, to Sarada Devi. Those teachers had profound influence. I never met them. They died before I was born, but they had such a profound influence on my spiritual growth and my life. And one period when I was going through a really hard time, Ramakrishna set up a protective wall around me to keep some pretty dark forces in the world from doing damage. So these teachers, these souls, these great souls are very much a part of my inner life. I have just endless gratitude. They all live in my heart. And I try to connect with them every day. And I also learned that you never know when these higher energies, these, spirits and souls that are in the cosmos are going to come to you and truly give you the wisdom you need to get through situations. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? So just to finish, I'm not interested in the male-female conflict. I'm interested in the union of male-female in each and every person that practices meditation, because that marriage will activate Kundalini. And when that marriage takes place, you begin to see the world differently. You don't have to dominate, and you don't have to be dominated. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Look, it's all about love. That's all it's about. God is love. And we're here to learn that. Okay, well, Chris, didn't start out like such a good question, but it was a great question. So God bless you for bringing up the subject.
Thank you, Stuart. It was a great response. Thank you.
Okay, there'll be a meditation on Wednesday. And thank you all. Bless you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of my life. Thank you for making me work as hard on myself as I do. God bless you all. And I just hope that this, as I say, look, I'm not getting younger, I mean, this month month and a half has been a really very painful physical month for me, ankle problems and teeth and one thing after the other, But the whole point of all this is to pass on these teachings. That's the point of all of this, so that there's a new generation. And Rudy told me this. He said, I've told you this. He said, don't worship me. Don't even love me, he told me once. He told me 20 times. I said, Rudy, how can I not love you? He said, don't love me, love God. Love God. Connect and attach yourself to God. Learn what I have to teach so that you can build a system inside that will truly get you to God. And he must have, I don't know how many times he taught until it finally penetrated. He said, that's what you have to do. That's what you're here for. I mean, to this day, he's in my heart. I love him, saved my life. He gave me a life. But more importantly, he gave me the tools to truly build an inner life that enabled me to connect with God and to become a servant of God. So thank you all for being part of this, and God bless you all. And just being here and having these classes, you know, because these classes are really, each class is like one step closer to enlightenment. And that's the reason I don't miss them. It's really true. I mean, I'm the only one who attends all the classes.
Lucky man.
You know, every one of them gets me one step closer to samadhi. So why should I miss them? So God bless you. And there'll be a class on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stuart.